back a little bit. I have the honor of talking about Coach Walter. Mine's a little more serious, because he kind of scares me a little bit. So here we go. The first time I ever heard Coach Walter speak of my name was at our freshman year soccer banquet. He was giving all his speeches about every player, as he always does, and compared Eric Stallhuber to myself. As he did that, I looked at my father and said, yes, he knows who I am. Maybe I have a shot at making the team next year. Well, I made varsity that next year, but never really had the opportunity to play. Coach told the sophomores of that year, after the first day of practice, that we had to work hard every practice and give it our all, and we should see some type of playing time. I worked hard at every practice from then on, busting my butt, trying to win every sprint, but throughout the whole season, I saw a total of 25 minutes of playing time. I think 25 minutes of playing time. Thanks, Coach, for showing me that hard work really doesn't pay off as a sophomore. And I think Ryan Christensen would agree with me. Junior year was a different story. Coach actually took into account of who I was as a player. Junior year is really when I understood how and why Coach Walter was our head coach of the varsity soccer team. I personally believe Coach Walter works harder than any other coach I have ever seen. That year I learned how he watches film on every team, how he goes to other games of teams that we might see in playoffs, or even how he sits and watches our games on film that we had just played to critique us that very next day. The day after the loss to St. Francis that year was one of the first days I felt Coach Walter's wrath, as a player, not a bench warmer. As we lost 1-0, mostly my fault, but overall a poor team effort, Coach Walter drilled us with 60 after 60 after 60 after 60 after 60, ending up doing 13 60s in a row. Between every 60, Coach Walter would not say much, but what he said was definitely heard. Something along the lines of, if you play like that, we'll just be in this corner every single day. Or, I have no problem with being the most fit team in the league. After that day, we went on an 8-game winning streak, clinching a second league title in a row. I guess his words were definitely heard. Then playoffs came. After watching extensive film on Newbury Park, we had ended the season with a 2-1 loss in the first round. I have never seen such a big man in my entire life cry with such sensitivity and compassion like he did. He told us that he had never cried after a loss in his entire coaching career at Loyola, well, at least in front of us. As he joined us all in tears, I realized how close of a coach he was to the team, and that it was just not about soccer, but it was about us, the players, as to why he was coaching. Then my senior year came. Coach decided to pick captains before the first game of the season. As all the seniors were discussing and waiting on who would be captains, Coach Walter huddled us all up and announced the captains, Padilla and Kai. And then he quickly realized his mistake. Oh, my bad, I meant Padilla and JJ. I don't think Kai appreciated that much. This year's season started, and with every practice, the team grew closer and closer to Coach Walter. For the seniors at least, the phrases we will miss the most coming from Coach Walter are, Garza, you're officially on 2-touch. Padilla, shut up. First you're late, now you're popping off, Dre. Kai, run play 41. And Cole, just react. See the ball and go block it. And finally, Dre, put your shirt back on. This isn't track season. All in all, as I speak on behalf of the team, Coach Walter has truly influenced all of us in a positive way in our 4 years in the soccer program. He has taught us so much more than just defense wins games and offense sells tickets. So I'd like to thank you, Dre, for bringing the fans, but special thanks to the amazing defense for actually winning those games. Coach has truly brought all 23 of us to become one huge family. As he said in our last game, you may not be playing with each other ever again, but look at the friendships and bonds you guys have created with each other. Coach Walter has been coaching here for 10 years, and I believe he will be here for a much longer time. And I quote him, I want to be coaching Padilla's kids before I stop coaching here. I would choose your words wisely, Coach. What he has done with the Loyola soccer program is truly remarkable. Coach Walter is the hardest working and most determined coach I've ever played for. Thank you, Mr. Walter, for being our coach for the past 2 to 3 years But most of all, thank you for being our guide through our steps here at Maryland.